So, you play video games to unwind?
Oh yeah,
What games do you play?
Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
any of them. I love playing Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, but honestly, the biggest is I love Fallout. I like open world, do what I want because I'm a chaotic good character, and if I'm playing a game where there's an alignment, it's generally chaotic good or chaotic neutral, but very rarely will I go full evil in a game
Yeah.
because usually it's game breaking when you go full evil. Much like it's game breaking when you go full evil in real life.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you go full evil in real life, it's game breaking. But I love games that give me decisions and all of that. But it just for me, the Fallout universe there's none better. And I haven't played 76 because I don't have the time to invest in a continually evolving online multiplayer landscape. I need a game where I can put it down for 3 months, come back, it's the same. I can't invest time like that because I only play in the winter, really, or when I can't. Like if I would have done work outside,
Yeah.
but I have 2 more trees to plant that won't be getting delivered until their leaves drop because they're big and they need to be dormant before they get put in the ground. Other than digging the holes, there's nothing left to do outside right now.
As a person who plays a lot of those open world games, I don't play a lot of them. I play Fallout and I play Skyrim and I have fun with that. But are you excited or confused by all this metaverse stuff?
I'm excited and indifferent. And here's what I mean by that. I'm indifferent to what it is. I'm excited about what it can be. When you can finally give me experience where I can put on a headset for a first-person game, like a first-person role-playing game, and the hand controls are nice, because I know that I think Fallout 4, you can do that via Steam or maybe the PlayStation headset, but I'm not quite there yet. I really like the I want one where it has hand tracking. That's really the key. And if I reach out, I'll be holding the gun. And I can see the gun in my hand, and maybe there's like a thing that you hold that's physical in the real world. And I can explore, you even go back and rebuild games from the past. That's going to be a real problem for me because I'm going to want to do that a lot because I really enjoy those worlds and the idea that I can be in that space enjoying the world so much to the point where, I'm doing I've had a few like redesigns on the house put together, and I have a dedicated gaming room that I'm not using yet, nor would I use even once it's done. Its purpose is for VR. So in 10 years, when VR is finally where I want it to be, I want to be able to go into a room and have a safe VR environment where I can play a game within that room, have it be completely darked out, do my thing. Because, am I going to live to see holodecks like in Star Trek? Probably not. But I do think some really intensive VR experiences. And I'll tell you, when I was a kid, man, I'd sit in my room. I'd get up. I was telling Ryan this morning, a few mornings ago. I'd get up, 5 in the morning, and I'd play Final Fantasy till 9 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Final Fantasy 2, I remember walking to Blockbuster, renting it. Rented it Friday night, had to return it Sunday night. I beat that game. I slept Friday night. I didn't sleep Saturday night into Sunday to be able to pound through the entire game and beat it in one weekend. And that's a role-playing game. It took a lot of work.
Do you think that it has implications because I certainly have my own thoughts on how it will impact what I do, because I may be designing in a virtual space as opposed to a trackpad and a keyboard and a monitor sooner than later. But do you think it's gonna get to where they proclaim it to be, where like in December, we're going to visit one of our clients in Michigan, and one day in theory, that could be no travel, but headset on.
Yeah, almost like the council meeting in Star Wars,
Yes.
where they're all
Yeah.
sitting there and you have it could, so that's the thing that I missed most about travel in the last couple of years. Talking to someone on the phone is great. You can pick up inflection. Talking to someone via Zoom is even better. You can see their face. But if you truly want to connect and understand who you're dealing with on a very personal level, you need body language. It's something that is hardwired into us. And to lose that, you feel a little bit blind. And
I just picture everybody walking around a room like NPCs. Like they can't, they're just like walking into a wall and they just keep walking.
yeah, everything just keeps, and people are jittering,
glitching, and there's no
and
expressions, and it's like, I don't know, maybe.
where I think it's going to get interesting is in the product space that you can experience virtually but enjoy physically. So say we're in that sort of area, you're wearing a Mastodon shirt, and I'm like, you and I, we bump into each other, I don't know, in some virtual, and you have that, you paid an in-game credit for that Mastodon shirt, and I'm like, oh, dude, that's a cool Mastodon shirt.
Like
But
they do in, what's that game that all the kids play?
Roblox.
You know, they do that in Roblox, but it's the, oh my God, I can't remember the name
Sims?
of it. No, it's the shooting game, but it's like.
Call of Duty and all that?
No.
Oh, Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
I'm always yelling at myself. Be quiet. I can hear him talking with his.
He's playing Fortnite.
I keep telling him, turn your headset volume down. That's
Yeah.
why you're so loud, because you can. I realize it's hilarious me saying someone's being too loud, because anyone that has ever heard me on the phone knows that it's deafening to be next to me while I'm talking on the phone.
Yes.
But I can envision, I love that shirt, but I don't want it in game. I'd push the option to ship it to my house.
Yeah.
That's where stuff's really going to get interesting, not just from the AR, augmented reality, where I can put on a pair of my glasses and kind of the physical world is augmented in the virtual world. I think the other way works too, where the augmented world, where the virtual world is augmented into the physical world. Think of it with that client that does shed building that we've been working with for well over a decade here in New England. And it's always hard to get people to come to their physical location. Imagine to be able to walk through, pick it, buy it, adjust it, change it, all of that within that. The businesses that have a physical product that is either like brand-based or customizable, I think are going to benefit massively from an interaction standpoint. Look at what happened during the last couple of years. I remember right when the pandemic hit, we said, how are these guys going to sell sheds? People can't even come look at them. And not only could they sell them, their sales are because of the nature of the business. And I like to think some of the adjustments we helped them make to their business model, they're 3 times what they were.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say I could go see Mastodon in the metaverse live, and I was like, that's rad. I know they did that in Fortnite with a Travis Scott concert, but
you're smart enough to think of that stuff. I'm sitting in front of you. I'm like, Matt's wearing a shirt. I'm going to buy a shirt. That's why you have a job, because I can't go that one step further that you always go.
I just was like, oh, that'd be so cool, because my kids are away at school, and my oldest, so there's this long-standing desire to go see Iron Maiden, because I told him when he was 5 that we would go. There was a giant, I don't know if Iron Maiden has this mascot called Eddie.
Eddie, yeah.
Yeah. There's a giant Eddie at this particular concert when he was 5, and you could request to be eaten by Eddie and get put into a raffle for it. So I submitted my 5-year-old son like any good father would. And then my wife was like, this probably isn't the best idea overall. He will be scared of this. So we ended up not going. The other night, I get a text that says, we must fulfill the prophecy. And I'm like, what?
Number one, I love that.
Yeah. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, Iron Maiden is playing this upcoming Monday in Worcester at the DCU Center, and we got to go. And I'm like, I don't know about a Monday night. Like, my routine is very locked in.
It's tough.
So then I go and I look at ticket prices, and now we're definitely not going.
Where are they going?
If you don't want to be on the floor covered in sweaty other
Tickets,
metalheads,
a space you would want.
yeah, $450 a ticket.
Woo!
And I'm like,
I'll listen on Spotify.
yeah, exactly. But imagine if it was a Monday night and I could slip on a headset along with my son and experience a concert without leaving.
Yeah.
And I think there's some value in that because all the bands that I want to see come around on a Monday night or a Tuesday night. And just for a point of geography, we live in an area that's 30 minutes away from civilization, but then another hour to any major city essentially in the state. So it's like, how do I justify a 2-hour drive plus?
Well, it's
concert?
interesting because you bringing that up. There's a company that I think is in stealth mode, and hopefully I'm getting the name right. It's called Figure, and they are working on building a humanoid like home robot. I had commented that, oh, I can't wait. Hopefully I get to see this before I retire because I really think that's going to help folks age in place, which is something that, even though I'm only 40, that's something I have in my mind. I don't want to go. I want to live at my home until I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
If at all possible.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. Imagine being able to jack into the body of that VR robot. You got the headset on. And the robot's there.
You send them to the concert.
And so you can walk around and you can look and you can. It gets even better. Now I want robot mosh pit.
Yeah.
Now robot mosh pit. Then you can sell tickets to watch robot mosh. How much? I mean, I would watch robot mosh pit.
Robot mosh pit is a really cool idea. And just imagine if I had a robot avatar at a concert. Oh man.
What would it look like?
I don't know, but I would totally imagine how much food you could eat too. You could just go and buy all the cheeseburgers you want.
So you want a robot that actually has like gastrointestinal, like in
No, I just
what's
think,
what's that movie? Not Infinity, Bicentennial Man.
But I don't think that would be necessary. I think it's the ritual. Like on a music scene, there's people do things in a certain way. So like you go to the show early and you hit up the merch tent and you buy that shirt of that band that you're excited to see. Now you don't wear the shirt while the band is playing because that would be way uncool. But like you now have this for your collection. Or you go after and you buy things. So yeah, that would, and there's always like a, let's go early and hit up, get some falafel at this little truck before we go in or whatever. So it could be really cool to have robot avatars. Robot mosh pit would be like,
So rad.
it would be like,
Robot professional. Imagine robot professional. I'd just the things that people, because now we're talking about intermeshing the virtual, the physical world, all these things, and the stuff that you could do with all of these things is just incredibly exciting to think about.
yeah, it seems like we're both really optimistic about technology. We're techno optimists.
In most cases I am. I will say that I tried to read the book Superintelligence or Superintelligence.
me too.
I forget what. I've tried 3 times and failed. I'm simply not smart enough to read it. That's the end all. I will say that, I do fear a superintelligent AI, the idea that it can improve upon itself and what that might mean. That is that a Pandora's jar or box moment for humanity, much like the nuclear genie was. But by and large, I think that technology is our evolution now. Where biological evolution isn't a thing for humanity anymore. Technology, when you look at the technological change curve, we're almost vertical at this point. And it's so fast now that you almost don't feel the change. We haven't had the big watershed events airplane to rockets to space shuttle to the moon. But I feel like more of those are coming. My son's obsessed with the moon and wants, what are we wasting time on Mars for? The moon is where it's at. The moon is what we need to do. And he's always railing about it to me, which I think is great. I hope to be able to live to see relatively inexpensive vacations in orbit and maybe the moon. I'd really appreciate being able to do that, even though Shatner said that it was like staring in the face of death recently, being up in space. I don't know how I'd feel about that, but there's just, the reason why is it holds promise for change. And while change is painful and difficult, it's also the only thing that makes waking up really worth a damn. What's coming, what's going to be interesting, what's going to change. You might say, oh, your kids are nothing but change. That's what made took this weekend I went to Boston with Lizzie. I've seen a skyscraper before. I've been to Boston. I don't even take note of them. But to see it, and I've heard other people talk about it, but until you experience it, to see it through her eyes. Yeah. We were driving down Route 2 until you can finally see the skyline.
Yeah, that one.
And her brain just breaks. Yeah. She's like, those buildings must be bigger than a tree. And I'm like, honey, they're bigger than 10 trees. In some cases, 100 trees. She goes, no. I go, yeah, wait till we get there. And we get there, and I get to I didn't know, I get to experience what it might have been like for me seeing these when I'd never seen them, but through her. And if you really sink into that, it's almost a virtual experience.
It is.
Through that child's eyes. It's magical to experience.
Yeah, and it's such a good way to put it, that it's metaversal in a way, because it's the same thing, just rehashed. And we're going to get to that point, I think, where the experience that is on the screen or whatever that technology is more engaging than what's around us. My hope is that the screen enhances what's around us in a meaningful way, and that it doesn't erase what's around us in like a Ready Player One scenario where we're all in these tiny trailers and we don't even realize it.
Yeah, and that's a dystopian view of where technology could take us. I see it as, that's why I like augmented reality. I think that holds the most promise. I think about going through my garden and having augmented reality glasses on and noticing, oh, you got a little bit of rust on the strawberry. When's the last time you did neem oil? I'm not sure if neem oil deals with rust. That's something my girlfriend handles, all that stuff. So I'm way outside of my bounds here. But if you didn't get some from Amazon and boom, it comes in. Those kind of things, I think, where you can experience the benefits of both.
Yeah.
Because not that you must be in virtual world, because take the idea of playing a video game. I remember when Pokemon Go came out, I played that I loved it. You go outside, you're finding these things. Now, ultimately, what made the game fail, for me, I'm not saying it is a failure, I have no clue where it's at now, but for me is that the outside world experience wasn't as good as I thought it should have been. I would have liked to see more interaction. If I'm close to water, and I don't know much about Pokemans, but the water one comes up and I fight him, and I was fighting these things, but imagine virtual glasses on again, and you're playing Fallout in your neighborhood. Now, of course, there are issues here. Cars, all this other stuff, but you could find ways to integrate that into what's going on, and super mutant comes over and I got to fight this thing in my backyard. Talk about everyone that's always like, kids need to get outside. Yeah, get outside and play your video games. Everyone's brain is going to break when we can finally say that.
Yeah. That's true. I think we're going to end this.